Hello, everybody. This is Pete from PA Labs, and we are on, I believe it's day 8 of the Wargame Studio in Linux rewrite. And I couldn't be more happy with where I am. I got quite a bit done today. So let's just jump straight into it and launch the game designer, which now pops up a little screen that says, hey, you gotta give me a war game object. So you can create one. If there was one saved, you could modify that kind of thing. Since I have none in the database, we'll go ahead and create one. So now I got the screen, but now I have another pop-up screen that says all games have to have a map to make this screen viable. And we have one and only trusted little saved map out there. Nothing fancy by any stretch. And there it is. It was a test earlier done today where I think I built a grid 10 by 10 or 12 by 10 and threw some swamp in the middle of it and to make sure that graphics come across, and sure enough they do. We have the grid, we have everything here that I had on the screen. And now let's go ahead and configure the game itself, okay? And that's a French Renault tank. I don't like the graphic very much, but I'll probably leave the tank and come up with something else that's more complementary in color for the background of it. So what we're going to do is you have every game. You get to pick your game era. If you remember back a couple videos ago when I was working on the core code, I had the game era and nation linking and elements and all of that. I set up that I had the American Civil War set up, and there is one and only one nation set up that is linked to the American Civil War, and that is the Confederacy of the South. And so I'm going to stay with this, and I'm going to stay with a single map. Now, I can do the same little maneuver to the stencilla guy here. I'm not going to mess with that at the moment. And we have our map players. Every map gets 2 players. So if you have a campaign game, those 2 players can change as you go to different maps. And player 1 will always be player 1 to the game. Player 2 will always be player 2 to the game. So I don't expect you to have them as player 1 or 2. I'm going to double click this, and it's not going to go jump the button for some reason. So we'll come in here and let's say the Rebels. Rebels. Okay. How about that? Rebels. And yes, he's going to be in charge of the Confederacy. Yay! And then we can close. So we have the update back here on our screen. So we're happy with what we have. Oh, okay, so I have a bug there. Crap. All right, never mind. We'll keep going. So now, when we come over here and we have our players now, we have all of this lovely stuff. Oh, that was because I didn't have a game name. Look at that. Okay. So he tried to save the war game object there, and I didn't put in a game name. So we have I've shown you this. We have our city cursor. We have our unit cursor. I have a farm cursor. I have a factory cursor now. We have a shipyard cursor. We have an airstrip cursor. Not real fond of that one. Didn't quite come out as pretty as I thought. I have an academy. Whoops. Get the hand in the right order. There we go. So you can have academies, and you can have an objective. That's a little map with a red X. So that's like an objective, right? A goal. So you can place all of these now. So we'll come in here and put our city in the center of the swamp. So now we are in our city. Here's going to be our city tile. We can give it names. We can identify owner. Um, all of this. My goal was to get this to pop up with a graphic. I haven't tested out any of the savings or any of that kind of stuff here. So we can go back and build in a factory, and we'll do it to the same spot. We now have our factory icon, and here's our factory screen that is all configured for us as a factory. So we can even come in and attach a what did I hit there? The academy. So we have an academy school guy here and our screens there. Uh, so I don't have these guys operational yet. And so that's pretty much where I've gotten. We have all the icons, we have all the screens and all the graphic stuff kicking up. Uh, I still have to work out saving, which shouldn't be that big of an issue. And I guess I'm going to come up with a game name of new war game or something like that. And that would be that. I don't think I hooked this in yet. I have a screen, ooh, I do, that comes up and says, here's all the available screens, and you can pick your screens. Now, uh, if you remember when we were here, we picked that it's a single map. If it's a single map, I'm going to disable this button here. I know, you're mad because I don't have a name. There. Uh, so now I can come over here and say close. And he still has the problem. Okay, there's still a problem. So this button would be disabled on a single map. You have your single map. That's all you get. If it's a campaign game, then this would be activated and you could add additional maps. Once you've built a map and you have it on the screen, if you uncheck the map, I'm going to delete the map on you and you'll lose all of your units and all of your cities and factories, and all of the stuff you've configured on the map actually is part of the map. So you want to be careful to not uncheck a map, and I do have a pop-up screen that says you're about ready to do that, and don't do that. So actually I think it should pop up, or did I disable this? Oh, there it is. Do you really want to do that? No, 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 cancel. So then he goes back to being checked. So you kind of have a check there. So a lot of work has been done on the database layer side. I have all the objects built with export and import. So the export piece of this is going to be relatively easy and very fast. It'll just export everything out. I do have to go through this and all the external pictures that are no longer going to be stored in memory, but it'll use basically I/O when it needs to get the image, will be generated during the export and utilized on the flip side. So that is today's update. It's getting better and better. Hopefully tomorrow-ish, this will be pretty much done, and I have hopefully the time to go build a real map. Go build France, and I'll do Germany's invasion of France in 1940. And so that would be a substantial map, probably 30 hexes by 30 or 35 hexes or something to that effect, a pretty good sized map. So we can get all of the Germany in there, or most of Germany, and then we would also want to make sure we have, Holland and the Netherlands, and let's see, we'd have Belgium and France and England. We got to get the channel in England over there so they can send the BEF across the channel, and maybe as far south as northern Italy, that kind of thing, and get that put in. that's where the stencils come in pretty handy. And I have out here in the game file. Do I have it on this one? No, I don't think so. I don't think I brought them over yet. I got them on the old one. Let's see, didn't I have a stencil? So it's probably in images. Stencils. Here we go. So I have some pretty cool European maps that I went and got off the internet, and these are hexagonal type maps. And my goal would be to make a big chunk of map here that would clip the bottom end of England and northern Italy and just about all of France as my map. So this is a pre-World War II map of Europe and North Africa and the areas there. So this will be a stencil. I'll cut out what I want and then expand it to the size that I want to build my map, and then I can load it as a stencil so it shows up as a faint image on top of my map, and then I can just come in and draw in my borders and put in cities and stuff like that, or roads and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'll probably come across and probably not pick up Denmark. It'll just probably be Germany, most of France, northern Italy, a little bit of whoever this is, Yugoslavia probably. Okay, so that pretty much is what I wanted to show there. Here's this is a colorized one. Look, I didn't like that. But it's, showing you some of the stuff you can get online. And you can use that for stencils on building maps so you get right proportions. So hopefully I can get that underway. So on the next phase, after this is done and I'm working on the game itself, we'll actually have a map that is playable. Okay, it's got all the stuff that we need. So anyhow, that's the end of this video. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and more fun stuff is on the way.